Devon Archer is the man today, folks. I bet he didn't say a whole ton of a lot about implicating things, including the Bidens, because a lot of it would implicate himself, even though he's going to do jail time over another unrelated matter. He doesn't really want to tell his story with the Bidens in completion, I guarantee, because then somebody would be throwing charges at him, probably the DOJ. And so he has to be very careful as to things he says and doesn't say. At this point, he's obviously been protected on some level, because if the Justice Department really wanted to go after him for doing the same thing Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were doing, they could, but in turn, it would have to implicate the Bidens. That's why they've left him alone. That's what I have to believe. But at this point in time, folks, he did come before the Congress, brave man, and at least said some things that we know of so far, which this story hasn't completely broke yet, but we do know so far that Marjorie Taylor Greene said that Joe Biden lied. There was over 20 phone conversations, including Joe Biden, and Joe Biden was the brand. Now that it was the key word that was used, and so Hunter Biden was the salesman, Joe Biden was the brand, Devon Archer was one of the middlemen, and all these foreign country oligarchs and influence wanting countries, they knew where to go get it. Let's go ahead and get into this video clip. I did steal this from Benny Johnson. I want to give him all in full credit, but I just thought this was too good not to share with everybody.
Anything wrong, or that I've done anything wrong. Period. He did not do a single thing wrong, as everybody's investigated. But look, there is zero evidence of any assertion being made. You know, there's not one single bit of evidence, not one little tiny bit.
That's a lot of lies, Joe.
There's not a scintilla of evidence that I did anything wrong. No one has produced one scintilla of evidence that I did anything other than do my job for America. I don't discuss business with my son.
Have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business.
And I've never discussed what my son's business with him because I didn't want any conflict.
Do you stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business dealings?
Yes, I stand by that statement. First of all, I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period. I've never discussed my business or their business, my sons or daughters, and I've never discussed them. The article, the list has been on online. This will be printed one time. It's good. I think it's clear.
Well, folks, I want to back that up just a little bit right there. All right, now let me read a little bit of this for you before I jump out of this clip. It says, this is a letter from James Gillier, who was one of the people that was involved in this as well. There is many key players involved in this influence peddling of the Biden family and friends of, obviously, Hunter. There was it says, this is a text. It says, ask if they have recommendations, or I would do it short term if needed, but maybe he feels better if H, meaning Hunter, puts there a friend with no power but reporting comms, meaning basically Hunter Biden was afraid of being the point man. He wanted to maybe put a friend in his place as the buffer. And then the next piece of the conversation, which is the most relevant part, says, don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid. Who do you think the Joe was? Now, right below it, we've got from Hunter Biden at his email. He was sent it September 21st, 2017 in the morning. He sent it to Cecilia Browning. It says, please have the keys made available for the new office mates. This is involving the Rosemont Seneca and the Penn State Center and all that. It says Joe Biden, Jill Biden, and Jim Biden Gangwon Dong, who was chairman of the CEFC, and says, I would like the office signed to reflect the following: the Biden Foundation, Hudson West CEFC, and the lease will remain under my company's name, Rosemont Seneca. This was one of the places they set up this whole fake business. That's part of the whole LLC situation. And now here we got another one that says from Vladimir Pozharsky. Says meeting for coffee, April 17, 2015. Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving me an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and a pleasure. As we spoke yesterday evening, it would be great to meet today for a quick coffee. What do you think? I could come to your office somewhere around noon or so before we're on my way to the airport. Now, this picture down here in the bottom corner is Devon Archer, the man that testified today, Hunter Biden's partner in CEFC in Burisma. Right next to him is one of the co-founders of, I forget this guy's name, but he's one of the co-founders of Burisma. And there's old Joe and there's old Hunter, and they're all at the golf course together. Go figure. Don't know these guys, never seen them before, never talked business, don't know nothing about Hunter's business. I think Joe Biden's caught, folks. I think they're going to prove a few things that he will not be able to wiggle his way out of, even though we've got Democrats already lying, and saying that there was no there today. And phone calls between Hunter and his dad about his friends is just, it's not about it. They could have been talking about the weather. That was his answer today, believe it or not. Ridiculous.
Daily conversations that Hunter Biden had with his father. President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello. And he would,
really?
He described what the weather was, what's going on your end. It's kind of a preposterous premise to think that a father should not say hello to people that the son is at dinner with, and that is literally all the evidence is.
And then moments ago, the White House putting out a statement calling House Republicans' investigation an evidence-free wild goose chase. And Democrats are throwing cold water on the entire investigation.
This investigation started during the Trump administration, and they've come forward with not one shred of evidence tying President Biden to any of this.
I don't have any concerns. I think this is a witch hunt. If Hunter Biden has broken the law, he should be held accountable for it.
I think that a lot of my colleagues need to go back to school and maybe go into the work of being detectives, because seemingly that's what they want to do right now, is play detective and weaponize the government.
Before I get off here, folks, I just wanted to ask Jesse Waters one question. What are they selling?
They're selling the Biden brand. That's what they're getting paid for. And the Biden brand, according to Hunter, was gold. Now, forget about the phone call for a second, okay? The 20 phone calls. How about all of the dinners at Cafe Milano? You're saying he goes to dinners with the Chinese, the Kazakhstanis, the Greeks, the Romanians, the Greeks. And it's a dinner where you sit down and you have an appetizer, an entree, dessert, and they're talking about weather the whole time. I mean, you could do weather for about 5 minutes, but the whole dinner, it can't be all about weather. Also, we find from Devon Archer that, yes, Hunter was hired to get Joe to fire the prosecutor. We also found out that Joe sits down with a billionaire from Russia, and then a month later, Hunter gets a wire from $3.5 million from the Russian billionaire.
And he goes on, folks. He's just reading the list off.
And then Hunter flies with Joe on Air Force Two to China. Then a week later, Hunter gets millions of dollars from the Chinese. And then Joe gets on the phone with the Chinese business partners on speaker. And then Joe writes a letter of recommendation to Brown University for the guy's daughter. But Joe has no idea what's going on. Everywhere Joe Biden goes, Hunter gets paid. Joe goes to China, Hunter gets paid. He goes to Romania, he gets paid. Kazakhstan gets paid. Ukraine gets paid. we're not adding this thing up. We're still pretending Joe's not connected to anything. Why does Joe Biden have 6 different alias email accounts? Why does the family have 20 shell companies? Why is this now a $50 million racket? Now you have 2 eyewitness people testifying that Joe is aware of what's going on. You have IRS whistleblowers saying the thing was corrupt and there was a cover-up. You have FBI whistleblowers saying the same thing. You have suspicious activity reports. You have offshore bank accounts. But the Democrats are like, you know what? The Republicans still haven't really made a connection between Joe and his son's business. Okay, if you also forget about all the photographs, the voicemails, the videos, and the text messages, then yes, we have not made that connection.
Folks, everybody have a great day. Hopefully tomorrow we will find out some more about the transcripts of the actual information that come out on the Bidens. But right now we know for a fact that 20 phone conversations was referred to involving the big guy. Like, subscribe, and share to Devon Patriots. Over and out.